Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show, and this is going to be the first in a series of videos on how to redeem different credit card points currencies for maximum value. Did you like that little effect? If so, click the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Go on, I'm waiting. Thanks so much. All right, now we can continue. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about redeeming Amex points for their maximum value. And if you're watching this, you probably have some Amex points already, so I probably don't need to tell you which cards to get to earn them. But just for those of you who may be new, we'll quickly recap a few cards you can get that you can earn really good rates on Amex points. So the Amex Gold earns you 4 points per dollar at restaurants worldwide and US supermarkets. The Amex Platinum earns you 5 points per dollar on flights booked directly with airlines. And then you've got the Blue Business Plus, which is a great non-category card. It earns 2 points per dollar on up to $50,000 worth of spending in any category, okay, any type of spending. So those are a few ideas for you, and there are some other good ones as well. So now you've got a big stash of points. How do you get maximum value out of spending them? I'm sure you can't wait to hop on a business class flight, stay in a 5-star hotel, or just spend through a big stash of cash. Well, not so fast, because not all redemption options are equal, as you are about to find out. And we're gonna kind of go through the list from the worst to the best, and we're gonna go through some really specific travel options for huge value later on in the video, so do stick around for that. Now, by far the worst way to redeem Amex points is to use them to pay off charges on your card. So here I'm trying to use points to pay off this hardware store purchase for $24.85, and it's quoting me over 4,000 points, which means it's valuing these points at just 0.6 cents each for this method of redemption. So don't do it. This rule also goes for using Amex points to pay for things at Amazon.com. This Amex card has 1,000 points available, so that comes to just $7, which is 0.7 cents per point in value. So also don't do it. Then we have gift cards. Now you can sometimes get ripped off with less than 1 cent per point in value, like this Apple gift card. You can get kind of okay value with 1 cent per point with this Adidas gift card, or slightly more than 1 cent per point with this 1-800-Flowers gift card. But how often do people buy flowers anyway, and how much money do you really spend on them, okay? Do they even cost that much? It's often the crappier retailers that give you better value to entice you to use them. It's still not a great redemption, but at least it's over 1 cent per point. And if you can get over 1 cent per point in value for your Amex points, you're not a complete loser, all right? I wouldn't say I respect you, but I'm at least not embarrassed to be breathing the same air as you. Let's now look at some hotel redemptions. Oh, hotels through the Amex travel portal. Now, I made this mistake back when I was new to the points and miles game. I paid 23,000 Amex points for a Courtyard by Marriott that would cost around $170 for the night, so that's less than 1 cent per point. And if you browse hotels on Amex Travel, they are more like 0.75 cents per point, unless you have the Amex Platinum and you book through Fine Hotels and Resorts Collection. Like, look at this search in New York City. The #1 result that comes up, Trump Hotel, it's $575 or 57,500 points. That is 1 cent per point. But obviously these are higher tier hotels, and if you want to book something cheaper, you won't get that value. Look at this, $292 or 41,000 points. That's way less than 1 cent per point. Then what about air travel through the portal? Well, that works out at about 1 cent per point too. Take a look at these flights, New York to Cancun. It's lovely in Cancun this time of year, and it's about $300 or 30,000 points. That is exactly 1 cent per point. So you're getting what I would call the absolute minimum acceptable value, okay, 1 cent per point. However, there is an exception to this. If you have the Business Platinum and you book with points through Amex Travel, you actually get a 35% rebate on the points, which gives you some extra value. So this can be good. However, it's only if you're booking business or first class flights, and there are limits on the airlines you can use it on and stuff like that. But it can offer some good value if you can't find award availability through transferring to an airline, okay? Transferring out to an airline does normally offer superior value. Next, we have cashback through the Charles Schwab Amex Platinum. Now, if you have this Schwab co-branded version of the Platinum card, you can redeem points for 1.1 cents per point in cashback in your Charles Schwab brokerage account. Used to be 1.25 cents per point. It went down to 1.1 cents per point. It's a shame. But anyway, you can then use that cashback to pay off charges on your card. So like literally you could just book any of those hotels or flights that we just talked about with money and then use that cash back to pay off the charges on your card, and you'd be getting 1.1 cents in value instead of 1 cent or 0.75 cents. All right, now let's look at transfer partners which is where the real value is. So Amex has 17 transfer partners, which is a lot. It's more than Chase, for example, which only has 14. Now, first of all, there are two things which you should know about these transfer partners. Number one is that if you are transferring to a US-based airline, there will be a tax added. Now, American Express is the only company that adds in this tax. All others just sort of, they charge it in the back end. You don't really see it, okay? They get rid of it somehow. Now, this tax did go away in 2020 due to the pandemic, but that was only until December 31st, 2020, so it now is back. So you can see here on this Delta transfer of 20,000 points, it's asking me to pay either 2,400 points or $12 excise tax. And you can see if I pay with points, I'm getting terrible value as well, just half a cent per point. So I'd pay with money if you have to do this, and if you're transferring all your points over, obviously you can't pay with points anyway because there'll be no points left, so you have to pay with money. But a better strategy would be to transfer your points to non-US airlines where they don't charge this transfer tax. And don't worry, you can still book US flights, domestic US flights, even flights on US airlines, because all these airlines are in alliances, and Amex has all the three major airline alliances covered. We're going to get into that in just a moment. But first, the second thing that you need to consider when transferring is transfer bonuses. Now, Amex often gives transfer bonuses when transferring over to partners, and we have seen up to 40% bonuses. For example, you transfer 1,000 points, you get 1,400 points in your airline account. In fall last year, there were actually bonuses on 12 of the partners, averaging around 30%. And this is another step towards redeeming your Amex points for maximum value. Only transfer when there's a bonus available. Now, with some partners like Hilton, it really only makes sense to transfer with a bonus, and even then it's borderline. So Hilton, it's normally 1,000 Amex points to 2,000 Hilton points, but we've seen bonuses, sometimes it's 1,000 to 2,600, or I've even seen 1,000 to 3,000. Hilton points are only worth 0.5 cents per point. So if it's 1,000 to 3,000, you'll be getting 1.5 cents per point in value out of your American Express points. So it's still not great, but if you have to do it, wait for the bonus. And a lot of these bonuses will often come towards the end of the year. Perhaps Amex wants to pay out a load of points and get the tax deduction for them. I don't know. But anyway, look out for them around fall and winter time. All right, now let's look at some of the best airline partners to get maximum value out of our points. So we won't be looking at any US airlines because of the transfer tax, and the odd US airline, for example, JetBlue, doesn't even transfer at 1-to-1, it's 1 to 0.8. So the first option is to transfer our Amex points to Virgin Atlantic Flying Club. Now, this is a non-US airline, it's based in the UK, so we don't have that excise tax. However, flying to the UK, you do get hit with big taxes and fuel surcharges. So we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to focus on using Virgin Atlantic miles to fly to Europe, to any other country in Europe, on Delta Airlines in Delta One business class. That's a very popular business class suite on Delta with a little door that closes. Now, a one-way flight would be 50,000 points plus a very nominal $5.60 in taxes and fees. So for example, if we were going to book this itinerary JFK to Amsterdam, which would normally cost $7,210 return, so that would be 100,000 points for a return ticket, we would be getting about 7 cents per point in value. Now obviously prices vary throughout the year, but those are the prices I'm seeing now. Then you could also transfer to British Airways, and with British Airways you could book BA Club Suites to the UK, okay? That's the new, very popular business class, also with a little door that closes. Now, flying to the UK on British Airways, you do get hit with massive taxes and fuel surcharges. It could be up to around $1,000 per business class ticket. However, that business class ticket normally costs around $4,000 anyway to go across the Atlantic. So you minus the 1,000, you're left with 3,000. It's about 100,000 points returned. So you do end up with 3 cents per point in value, which is still a considerably better rate than any of the earlier options we talked about in this video. And that is the value we got for getting my mom a business class ticket to come over here for Christmas, okay, on BA Club Suites, 3 cents per point in value. Then British Airways is also great for booking short-haul flights on American airlines here in the US domestically or down to the Caribbean. Routes in economy under 600 miles in length start at just 7,500 British Airways miles for a one-way ticket. And I've also found amazing award availability on flights down to Cancun. For example, I was able to get 4 award seats in first class from New York to Cancun on American Airlines using British Airways Avios. Then you can also use British Airways miles for booking Japan Airlines flights to Japan. I did this with a 40% transfer bonus, and then I went and booked a flight in business class from Taiwan to Japan, and I got exactly 2 cents in value after factoring in the transfer bonus, okay? Wouldn't say it's great value, but that was probably because it was a short-haul business class flight. If you went from the US to Japan, you'd probably getting over 3 cents in value, but it was a great business class product. A fully flat bed with your own suite, amazing food, and I was able to get 3 award seats in business class, which is actually pretty rare to be able to find that many seats together. All right, now let's move on to some other airlines. Now, Singapore Airlines is famous for its first class suites, and if you transfer Amex points over to Singapore Airlines' KrisFlyer program, you can book them. It's 132,000 miles one way, so that's going to be 264,000 miles return. And I just did a little search on the Singapore Airlines website, and I found the price from New York to Singapore in February is over $14,000, so that gives us 5 cents per point in value on that return booking. Now, obviously, there would be some taxes and fees incorporated in that, but it's somewhere around 5 cents in value. Now, I actually did fly on this product on an older Singapore Airlines A380. It was the old version of the suites, but it was still the most comfortable bed I've ever had on an airplane, and I'd really like to try the newer version. All right, now we'll hit you with a few quick fire ones, a few more good uses for Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles. You can book Lufthansa first class to Germany, or Virgin Atlantic upper class to the UK. These ones do have fuel surcharges, but normally still offer good value. Or you could book United business class from the US to Hawaii, and Singapore actually charges you less miles than United would for the same ticket. Then let's look at one more airline for transferring to. If you transfer from American Express to the Japanese airline ANA, you can book business class to Japan for just 75,000 miles return. And you can also get some really good bookings on Star Alliance Partners as well, because ANA is part of Star Alliance. So if you wanted to go from the US to Europe, for example, you can normally get business class tickets for 88,000 miles return. That really is maximum value. Guys, I could go on and give you more examples and make this video like 20 minutes long, but I think I've kind of given you the gist of it, and I'll put some articles and resources in the comments below. There's one particular article that's really good. It's 59 ways to redeem American Express points for maximum value, and they're all airlines, okay? They didn't give you any of the lower level stuff. It's all different airline itineraries. So I'll put that below in a pinned comment. It's really useful. So my conclusion, guys, is that the absolute minimum value you should be getting for Amex points is 1 cent per point in value, 1.1 cent per point if you have the Charles Schwab Amex Platinum. If you transfer to a partner, especially an airline partner, the absolute minimum should be 2 cents per point in value, but ideally higher than that. Generally, don't transfer to hotels. They don't offer very good value. Also, US airlines don't offer good value either. So focus on foreign airlines, but like we've shown you, you can still book a lot of US flights because American Express does have the 3 major airline alliances covered. Lastly, guys, if you want the Amex Gold or the Amex Platinum, these are the 2 cards I talked about where you can earn masses of Amex points. I will put links to both of them below. They both come with really good sign-up bonuses, so click below to learn more about them. And if you want to get into this whole credit card and personal finance thing, why not check me out on Patreon, okay? Join the inner circle. Our basic membership tier is $5 per month, and basically what you get for that is a free credit building course to build your credit score up to the level where you can apply for these amazing credit cards that earn you loads of points. You'll also get a lot of tips and tricks in your email inbox every couple of days. And don't worry, if you cancel it after a month, I don't really care. Some people might just want to get that credit building course. Then we have our second tier, $15 a month, which you get to join a Zoom hangout with me every week. And then we have an even higher tier than that, which is limited to 10 people. You get to join a very small scale Zoom hangout where you can ask questions and stuff like that. So I'll put the link to Patreon down below if you are interested. As always, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.